Drake just announced May the 15th as the date release for his new album. As an astrologer, I'm going to talk about 5 things that I find interesting about that particular date. But first, I want to stress something. Drake is under a new regime. And what do I mean by that is that during the battle of 2024 at the hip hop Chiron return, Drake was receiving eclipses on his natal sun. Transit South Node was conjunct his sun, and transit Pluto was making a square to his natal sun. Pluto is an extremely important planet for Drake. Drake is natal sun in Scorpio at 0.33 degree, conjunct Pluto at 7 degrees Scorpio. So that makes it some sun conjunct Pluto persona. Pluto will play an important role in his biography. When Drake first comes on the scene, the musical scene, in 2007 and 2008, transit Pluto is making a sextile to his natal sun. Now, a sextile is a positive aspect. It's a 60 degree, and usually the typical classical interpretation of that will be somebody of power comes into your life and helps you. We saw this with Lil Wayne, with Drake. Also, in 2008, Drake was under the previous eclipses on his sun that took place in 2005. So in 2005, he was subjected to the eclipses at 18 years and a half. In 2005 in October, in 2006, Drake released his first mixtape, I think. Don't quote me on the name. And then in 2008, during these eclipses, he gets a major boost through Lil Wayne. Now, when the eclipses come back around, 18 years later, Drake is 18 years into his career. It's not only transit South Node that is conjunct his sun. The classical interpretation of South Node conjunct your natal sun is draining your vitality, your identity, your work, how you identify. Your sun is your presentation, is your ego. And then you have transit Pluto, which at birth is a conjunction, but during this particular eclipse is a square, highly problematic for him in terms of his biography. This is a huge change in his trajectory and in his biography in my eyes. So now eclipses are done. Eclipses take a year and a half. We are out of the eclipses of Aries Libra axis. Now the first lunation that was not part of an eclipse in Aries, but it was still conjunct transit Chiron on his north node. Drake announced, his north node is in Aries. Drake announced finally in 2026 the release date for his new album Iceman, and that is for May the 15th, 2025. And now that I've given you a background on Drake, Pluto, the eclipses, I want to highlight 5 or 6 things that I find problematic or extremely interesting with this new date, because Drake has released albums before in May, around May the 5th, May the 15th. May is released bodies of work on May the 25th as well. But it was never under eclipse season. This is the new regime now. So we have a nodal return and with a transit square making a configuration, and it's not a sextile. A square is the nature of conflict, is war. It's adverse. So he has to reconcile his identity, his persona, his identity in vis-a-vis in relationship to Pluto, to power. So this is where we are now.